of Exile Necropolis.
Alright, Path of Exile Necropolis, here we go.
Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Boss League, please.
Boss League or...
Cold flesh, dirt, maggots, and ghosts. Our job is to keep them where they belong.
Looks like the guy from Harry
It's your
Potter.
first night, so
Filch?
you need this.
Yeah.
A ghostly lantern for ghastly tinkering.
Those are the new monsters.
That's new area.
You'll learn to peer into the souls of the dead. You'll learn how to twist them.
It's Arch Nemesis.
Metamorph. Arch Nemesis and Metamorph.
In the
Yeah.
Necropolis.
Plus
You
Harvest
can
as well.
pilfer shiny things from a corpse. But you can pilfer glorious things from a soul. I
The
need
building
a
items.
grave digger.
Then you fight the monster for it or something. It's 17 maps, what the fuck? Oh, okay, you finally save the items. You finally save it, nice, nice.
Oops.
Scarab. Oh, new bosses, hey, there you go.
Oh, they're finally doing Uber.
I think Uber, yeah, Uber Expedition bosses.
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
transfigured gems, fuck yeah. What is
This
this?
don't take me too much time.
Oh my
Look at
god,
this,
crazy.
yeah, nice.
Those crazy bosses.
The job's hard,
That's sick.
but the pay's good. What do you say?
In the Necropolis League, you will encounter
Was it the one
Undertaker Aaron,
Uber?
a man collecting the scattered
Hateful Drop
spirits
guy?
of the Eternal
I don't know.
Empire for a
Ultimate
It
Empire.
almost
mysterious
looked like an
purpose.
ultimate Cortex or
These
something.
spirits have begun to haunt the monsters of Rayclast, unleashing their ancient fury and sorrow onto the
Or
world.
like heist, might be a heist
The
boss.
Undertaker will provide you with the Lantern of Aramor, a powerful family heirloom which can illuminate the wrathful spirits haunting monsters throughout Rayclast. With it, the Undertaker hopes to employ you to rid Rayclast of this menace, and further his cryptic cause. The lantern can be used when entering any new area. When peering through it, you can examine the spirits haunting that area. The lantern also allows you to manipulate them, letting you configure which monsters are affected by which mods. It would be wise to take your time with your decisions here, for the spirits are not forgiving. When peering through the lantern, you can also see extra details about the packs of monsters in the area. Rowers here are considered common, whereas the water elementals are more scarce. If you want things to be easier, you can put the more difficult spirits on the elementals, which you'll encounter less often.
Okay.
We've tried to make sure that by engaging with the lantern, you are able to intelligently control the difficulty in the Necropolis League. The spirits come in a number of forms which represent the danger they pose. For example here, the infested vultures are servant haunted, causing them to deal a small amount of increased damage. But the Vol's Vanguard are noble haunted, causing them to deal a large amount of increased damage. As you reach higher level areas in Rayclast, the tier and number of spirits that are haunting monsters will generally increase. Your game knowledge can help you here.
You see that? I think that was a
If you're
transfigured
aware
ice
of the
shot gem.
composition of a monster pack, this means certain mods will be easier to manage. For example, the mod that increases a pack's damage for every monster killed has no effect on packs with a single monster, like a Devourer. However, if we found a spirit that makes the strongest monster in a pack deal 100% more damage, well, I'm going to avoid the Devourer. You might have noticed that the Lantern of Aramor provides other useful information, such as the types of abilities monsters use, or the damage types they deal. So for those who are less familiar with how these monsters work, this can be a great way to learn what you're up against. The spirits are constantly moving throughout Rayclast, so if you are finding a campaign area too difficult, you can just wait a few minutes and peer through the lantern again to see what's changed. Of course, powerful spirits beget powerful rewards. There are two reasons why you might want to face a challenge now and then. Firstly, not all the spirits are malicious. Sometimes the monsters aren't haunted at all, but are instead devoted. These can grant basic rewards like increased experience, or bigger rewards like spawning the Nameless Seer, an NPC that will grant you a single unique item after you defeat all of
this is
the
from,
packs affected by that spirit.
The Wildwood, right?
The more
Ah,
haunted
yeah.
monsters
the
you
guy from the
defeat in the
Wildwood.
previous area before using the lantern,
Can't wait
the
to see the
more
head
likely
after
the
Mage
devoted
Bots.
monsters will appear in the next area. Monsters haunted by higher tier spirits will increase the chance of the devoted appearing even more, meaning that sometimes it's worth putting the hardest modifier possible on very common monsters, if you're brave enough. Again, we've tried hard here to allow players to customize the danger and rewards as much as they can.
Interesting.
Aramor is an Undertaker, and you can probably guess what we're taking to him. The second main reward from the Necropolis League is monsters with unresolved anguish. Once slain, their corpses need extra care from the Undertaker, and he will offer to take them back to his necropolis and store them in the morgue.
It does look like an item crafting
Time
mechanic.
to earn your keep.
Yeah.
When you are ready, you can visit the morgue to view the monsters you have collected, and then get to work burying them in one of many graves in Aramor's cemetery. For example,
Oh, it seems
we
like
will
a lot
bury
of
this
micromanaging.
Katava's Herald. Aramor's mysterious
stack
soul
up a lot.
experiments can
Yeah.
coalesce powerful items.
Speed
Here
modified
I've
tier
chosen to
rating.
create
This
a
would mean
pair
nothing
of
to most
those.
people.
Lunaris, heal your pains and aid this soldier, so that you may grace them with fleetness.
These boots are
Okay.
useful for my character, but aren't exactly what I hoped for. And this is where the Necropolis crafting system really shines.
Oh my god, what the hell
You'll
is
have
this?
noticed that the corpse we collected earlier had a crafting effect on it. In fact, all collected corpses do. If you bury multiple corpses in the cemetery, all adjacent corpses can be exercised at once to create one item.
Oh my god, it's like hyper
All
resonators
of
pretty
the
much.
makes effects on those corpses
Yeah.
will apply to that same
Makes
item.
it like a harvest type of
This
thing.
allows you to have
Yeah.
either one or many different crafting projects
I can just see
ongoing
it
in the
fucking people though.
cemetery. For example, next time I try to create boots, I could bury corpses that increase the chance of getting move speed modifiers. To go further, I could use these to generate higher tier modifiers.
Path of Exile is going to be interesting, huh?
Then, I could try to bias it
It's
towards
gonna be
being an affinity
itemizable and
pair
sellable?
with this.
Probably not.
Finally, I'll apply some crafting effects that improve the probability of getting good
Lucky.
rolls.
Wow, we'll be all for lucky as
Now,
well.
let's craft our item and see what we get.
Interesting. This is pretty sick.
Anguish and aid this soldier, so that you may grace them with fleetness.
As you can see
Oh,
now,
yeah,
we have a
pretty good.
much better pair of boots, forged from the souls of our enemies.
Still one chaos item though.
You could even use the
Yeah,
entire
if you get a shit
cemetery to
base,
craft one
it's,
item. There is
Oh,
always
crap.
well, you don't get to
something
pick
you
the
can
base,
do
I
to
just
try
realized,
and
yeah.
ensure your item
Yeah.
will be as best as it can be.
Anguish and aid this soldier,
We
Yeah,
hope
if
to
you
see
just a
some
bad
really
base.
crazy grave crafts.
their destiny.
If you are lucky,
Fraction
you
mod,
might find
fraction mod,
corpses
huh?
with meta crafting modifiers. These can be buried to manipulate your crafting projects in more drastic ways. This one increases the potency of all crafting effects of adjacent undead corpses.
Wow. Okay.
Another meta crafting modifier gives a chance to drop an extra item from your craft, with all the same
Oh,
crafting
wow.
outcomes applied. All you
This
have
will
to
be
do is
insane,
bury
right?
a lot of undead monsters.
Have you seen anything that talks about influence mods there?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Because if it's just basic mod pools, it's not really much of a mechanic.
You
I don't
can
think-
also
I don't think you'll
craft
be able to
new
do
unique
influence
items
mods, 'cause it always
exclusive to the
creates an item,
Necropolis
right?
League using this system.
Yeah.
It doesn't,
As
it doesn't,
you
it doesn't let
explore
you
grave plots,
alter
you might find the
existing
corpses
items.
of famous Eternal Empire families. And when you bury an entire family together and exorcise them, they will thank you with a unique specific to their lineage.
Yeah, there we go. Head on to some shit, right?
I would guess new unique league specific.
For example, the Navalius Inheritance
Oh,
build. I'll give you a moment to check that out.
reduced effect, increased effect per level.
You can use other corpses alongside them to grant implicit mods, manipulate the values of
Radius
explicit
also
mods,
grants plus
and more.
5 life.
In this case, with
Wow.
the Parandus Pact, you can even
Could
change
be
the
for life
modifiers it
stacking.
generates.
Yeah. What
This
very
unique
large
is a
radius
jewel
as
which adds
well.
extra
Yeah.
stats to passive skills
Plus
in
and
a
minus
radius
make.
when
Yeah,
socketed
put it in
into the
center of your
passive
tree.
skill tree.
Yeah.
The stats it adds are randomly generated, but you can bias it towards a specific type by using other crafting effects, such as this one, which increases the chance of getting life modifiers. Let's see what we get.
Unique item with life.
Damn, we didn't get it this time. I guess we're gonna have to go and collect more
Oh,
corpses.
I see. That's what affects it. Okay.
Of course, you can trade the corpses away to other players.
Oh,
All you
there we
need to
go.
do is purchase empty coffins
Yeah,
from
you
the
can. So it is
Undertaker
tradable.
and use them on your corpses in the morgue, which will itemize them. Another item in the Necropolis League that you can find are Embers of the All-Flame. These are monster spirits that remain living in the All-Flame, a powerful ancient artifact of Rayclast. And you can set them free by placing them in the Lantern of Aramor and defeating them. These embers drop throughout Rayclast as itemized packs of monsters. You are able to use these packs to replace the packs in areas. For example, we have found this All-Flame Ember of Tarfoa.
Tattoos are
We
back.
can now go to enter the next area
What?
See
and
that?
replace one
Curry
of the monster
tattoos. They
packs
drop
in
curry
here.
tattoos. Tattoos are back.
You can
Oh,
see
really?
we have
Yeah,
also
tattoos
got
are
one
back.
of the
That's
defaulted
huge.
modifiers to appear. We can pair up the Karui ancestors with this modifier, making them even more rewarding. Let's go ahead and replace the tentacle
Yeah, can drop
miscreations.
pack monsters can drop curry
However,
tattoos.
when replacing packs, you want to
Bitch,
double
they
check
nerfed
their
a bunch of the
density,
top end tattoos.
as the new pack
Yeah.
will inherit the density of the replaced pack. The Karui ancestors we have now added to our area can even drop basic variations of tattoos. If you
Oh,
aren't
basic
aware,
variations.
this is an item type from the Trial of the Ancestors League,
Probably not the
which can be
notable
used on
ones, I'm
passive
guessing.
skills to change what they do. There are many different types of itemized packs. You can find
Tall
Breach and Legion
splinters.
monsters that drop splinters, untainted packs that provide insane amounts of experience,
Wow,
and even
okay.
simple frogs, which can be used to replace difficult monsters to make life easier.
Oh, that's cool.
And of course, these Ember monsters can be raised as specters too.
Oh shit. Okay.
Finally, let's discuss how this league works in
I hope there's not
in-game
as
map.
much Spectre work for me as last
Each
week.
in-game map will allow you to manipulate it using the lantern on the map device UI. However, instead of randomly cycling every few minutes, it is fixed to that map. Once you view the map through the lantern, you cannot remove it from the map device, so you can't trade that map away now that you've seen it
okay.
as too difficult for you, or has monsters in it that you'd rather avoid, like porcupines. We're also trying something new this time around. During the Necropolis League, there will be support for the League on the Atlas passive tree. Multiple clusters will be there, allowing you to enhance the gameplay, customize it, and even change its behavior in
So
meaningful
they
ways.
added the Atlas temporarily.
One way
huh?
that you can change the crafting in a meaningful way is with the Prospero's Wager Keystone. With this keystone, all the
Reveals a
monsters
random
with
craft.
unresolved anguish come with this crafting modifier, which causes
Is
them
that,
to
like, you
generate
can
a
get
random
your
craft when buried.
Betrayal
This
like
means
mods.
instead of pre-planning
easier?
your crafts, you have to adapt to them on the fly
Ah,
to get the best
Oh,
results.
it's random entirely.
These clusters will not be available in Standard League.
I can
In
get these.
3.24, we've made a plethora of changes to the endgame. We're introducing new bosses, adding another tier of maps, and streamlining the Atlas. The most difficult and most rewarding content in Path of Exile can be found in Uber Pinnacle bosses, such as the Maven and the Searing Exarch. Currently, the only way to access these bosses is by allocating specific keystones on the Atlas passive tree. While this system offers a nice element of control, it causes a problem. Rewards and access to the non-Uber variants are now economically priced around the rewards of the Uber fights. This means it is wasteful
finally
to run
changes.
the non-Uber
Yeah.
variants instead of simply selling them. Another problem that we noticed is the difficulty jump between the Pinnacle and Uber Pinnacle content was relatively large, and there wasn't obvious content that could bridge this gap. Many players would give up on their characters before being able to defeat the Uber Pinnacle bosses. In 3.24, we will be making some changes to this. We are removing the keystones that give access to the Uber Pinnacle bosses from the Atlas tree, and instead we'll be adding a new set of fragments that give you access to this
Okay.
content. Where do you get these fragments? We are adding a new tier of maps, Tier 17 maps, which
Jeez.
not only give you access to the Uber Pinnacle content, but also test your characters in new ways. They
Only
feature
5.
a new set of bosses, Uber monsters,
Ah,
Oh wow.
and a new tier of modifiers that can roll on the maps.
Oh my god. What is that? Man?
Jesus.
There are
90%
5 new
reduced
tier
curse
17
effect.
maps
Curse
in total,
effect and
with some
also
surprising
the
boss
recovery
fights at the
rate.
end.
Yeah.
We'll look at a couple today.
That's,
and the
that's
rest
looks
you
like
can
Valdo
discover
map
for
bots, bro.
yourself.
It's like
Yeah.
undoable for a lot of builds.
First, we have the Citadel map. This map contains an ancient Kalguran citadel. You will encounter many expedition monsters as the signature packs throughout the map. At the end, you will fight Uber Uhtred. This is a version of a
Jeez.
boss from Expedition League, with
Oh my
all its
God.
abilities and mechanics
I've
enhanced.
never fought this guy.
Yeah,
Hatred
I've
will
fought maybe
even be able to
once.
summon 2 other Expedition bosses to aid it during the fight.
Oh my god.
Let's see.
Secondly, we have the Fortress map. This map is an impregnable fortress, guarded by monsters from the Heist.
This is so cool. Oh,
At
Heist
the
one.
end,
Okay,
you
there
will
we go.
encounter an Uber version of the Unbreakable. Again, it has enhanced abilities and mechanics you'll have to learn and overcome. Each of the Tier 17 map bosses has a chance to drop a unique item, allowing for some target farming. However, these aren't entirely new unique items. Instead, we've taken other unique items, removing them from the core drop pool and rebalancing them to fit here. One example is this reworked version of Wraith Lord.
Whoa.
It has
what the
4 Abyss sockets, and allows you to summon an additional Spectre for each Ghastly Eye Jewel
My
socketed into it.
god, okay.
Another example
What?
is Mana Storm. This has
That's
been
insane.
rebalanced to grant a lot
Yeah,
more
it's a lot of
damage than
spectres.
before,
Plus 4
alongside some more
spectres.
impactful
Yeah,
mana
Fucking
stats,
huge.
if you can get lucky rolls.
Oh, can I have non-spectre minions?
Yeah, yeah.
That's still nuts.
Alongside adding Tier 17 maps, we have also changed the Uber Pinnacle bosses to have completely
imagine that
distinct
this
unique item
league-
drop pools from their non-Uber
the Hydras.
counterparts. This means there is a reason to farm both versions. Let's take a look at the Shaper versus the Uber Shaper.
Okay.
The Shaper will drop these uniques: Voidwalker, Shaper's Touch, Solstice Vigil, and Dying Sun. Whereas the Uber Shaper will drop these: Echoes of Creation, Sublime Vision, Entropic Devastation, Starforge, and a new unique belt called the Tides of Time.
Wow, okay.
Another example of a new unique is this helmet from the Uber Eater of Worlds, Ravenous Passion, and these gloves from the Uber Searing Exarch, the Celestial Brace. Each of the Uber Pinnacle bosses has a new unique added to their drop pools.
That seems pretty cool.
We've identified
The
another
helmet
major
seems
problem
hella
with
strong.
the game
Yeah.
we'd
With
like to
mana
address.
stacking builds.
Yeah.
With
it's-
every
you use
expansion
rage
added to the
instead.
game, we have been increasing the
Yeah.
complexity of running maps. It's at the point now where a player must repeatedly execute a large sequence of steps to run maps efficiently. It can be easy to forget critical steps, and
That's
it can be
true.
tiring to repeat them.
Scarab, sextons,
To
everything.
solve this, we are removing some systems, but are keeping what is good about them.
Okay.
The 2 main systems we've removed are Sextants and the Master Mission Selector. It is not our intention to dull the
Okay, the
content,
sextons are
however.
gone. Okay.
We have completely reworked Scarabs to include most of the options that were previously covered by those mechanics, and many, many more. Let's take a look at some of them. Commonly, you might find Scarabs that simply grant access to different content. Here, we have a Scarab that causes Beyond demons to spawn when killing monsters in your maps.
Oh, Beyond's on the Scarab now. Cool.
And here, we have one that adds a Delirium Mirror. Each type of Scarab now has multiple versions, so if you want to fully
something
invest in
beyond
a type
winged
of
now.
content, you can do so.
Something a bit
Here's
like
a
above
suite
winged.
of Ultimatum Scarabs. This Ultimatum Scarab adds an Ultimatum encounter to a map. This Ultimatum Scarab of Bribing then causes that Ultimatum encounter to grant better rewards and its monsters to yield more experience. This Ultimatum Scarab of Dueling will cause that Ultimatum encounter to always guarantee the Trial
Oh,
Master boss
shit.
fight at the end,
So
That's pretty good.
assuming you
That's
can
nice, yeah.
survive through all the rounds.
meaningfully augments
This
it instead of
Ultimatum
just
Scarab
adding more
catalyzing
in a map.
will cause
Oh,
all
that's really
rewards
good.
from that ultimatum to be
Own
catalysts instead of other rewards. And finally, this Ultimatum Scarab of Inscription will cause all catalyst rewards from that ultimatum to be inscribed ultimatums instead.
Wow.
There are plenty of others. If you enjoy divination card farming, you might want to use these. This Divination Scarab of Curation causes more divination cards to drop for each different favored map you have selected. But it also causes whatever map you're running to only drop
Oh,
divination
I
cards
see.
from those favored maps. So if you
Oh,
want to
that's
try and aim
cool.
for your Mage Blood and don't want to just farm Crimson Temple, then this Scarab is for you. This Divination Scarab of
That's cool.
Completion
Yeah.
causes your divination cards to have a 20%
God.
chance to drop as a full stack instead,
Oh,
for
the rat,
maximum
nice.
dopamine. Basically, there are now just a
That's
lot of
oh my
Scarabs.
god, like
You might
Scarabs
have
there
also
are.
noticed that they
Jesus.
no longer have tiers.
Not
Scarabs are now
5
all
tiers for
world
all of them
drops.
though.
You can
Yeah.
get them anywhere. Some might be rarer than others, but the intention is that there'll be a lot more options than before,
That's so
and more
cool.
interesting combinations to consider. If you want to target specific Scarabs, Betrayal has been updated to include most of them,
So
and you'll
can
need to
you?
relearn which ones come from where. While this system is allowing you to heavily invest in one type of content, it is reducing your capacity for variety. To address this, we have massively increased access to
That was
content
a-
on the Atlas passive tree.
Yeah, it looks a
You are
lot
now
more
able
dense,
to
doesn't it, the
reliably
Atlas
get
tree?
different leagues like
Does
Breach
it?
or Legion from
This
just
doesn't
your
look
Atlas
the same though.
passages.
I think it looks still the same.
Regarding master missions,
I think
content such
there's
as
a lot more
Incursion,
nodes,
Delve,
I don't know.
Betrayal,
It
and
looks the same to me. I
Bestiary,
had a
these
quick
two
glance.
are now accessible
The
with
top in the
Scarabs
middle looks really
and have
dense.
more reliable
Maybe I have to
investment
look.
options on the tree.
I thought it looked the same,
Not
but I could
only
be wrong.
this, you can now get Jun, Einhar, Alva, and Nico to appear together in the same map. We have also removed some keystones such as Wandering Path, Grand
get rid of
Design, and Growing Hordes, but have added some new ones too. For example, Unwavering Vision,
Grants 20 Atlas
Back
skill.
to
What the?
Basics,
Okay.
and Thorough Exploration.
Oh, Affliction Wisps.
And we have
Map
added
bosses
some
get
new
affected by
notables such as
wisps.
Remarkable Relics, which allows you to try find better variants of Scarabs. Mounting modifiers, which increases the values of modifiers on your maps by 2% for each explicit modifier. And Tainted Carapaces,
I think you're right.
which
There's
is
a
just
couple
one
more
in a
mods
set
now.
of many
in the
that
center.
allow you to
Yeah,
target
I
farm
thought this
specific
was
types of
Yeah, a little bit
Scarabs.
thicker. Oh, buffer?
These are just a
Oh,
few
okay.
of the many new notables that can be
That's how we
found on
are
the Atlas passive skill tree. Lastly, we are giving you more flexibility in what content you want to run in the endgame. In 3.24, you can now have multiple copies of the Atlas tree,
Oh, yeah.
which can be
There we
swapped
go.
between maps at your leisure. You can unlock up to 2 extra trees for a total of 3 by
That's so
progressing
nice.
through the endgame and completing core content. When you open a map, you can select which tree you would like to use. For a given league, you'll never feel constrained to playing your endgame a single way. You can also label your trees to easily identify which
That's
one
nice.
has
That's
which
so
Yeah,
class.
this is great changes.
Yeah.
With
They
all
finally
this
added-
combined, we're hoping to see new endgame strategies shine through. While playing through the campaign
here
in
we go.
3.24, you'll notice a myriad
Actual
of small
improvement?
improvements and surprises.
We'll see. We'll see.
The fundamentals of the campaign are still intact, but we've scattered fun
I
encounters.
don't want to do
and
Legion in
secrets
Act
throughout
1, buddy.
Belfast. The Dweller of the Deep has been trapped.
What? Oh, I don't like these
What are
changes.
Ritual Shrines doing in the
Uh,
Northern Forest?
That fucking monkey had purple wisps on him.
And why are they giving me omens?
Wait,
This
is it?
device looks safe. I should definitely use this on my items.
This is
There are
fucked.
plenty more encounters to discover. We'll continue adding more surprises in future releases, so keep an eye out.
Those changes.
In the previous expansion
I don't
of
know.
323,
There's gonna be all the extra
we
content
released
you
a
have to
large
like
number of
avoid because it's gonna
transfigured
slow you
skill
down too
units.
much, right?
These are alternate versions of existing skill
They didn't
units
show
that
anything
function in
that
very different
you
ways,
didn't have to like
allowing
opt
for
into.
more build and gameplay variety.
Well, the Doll of the
At the
Deep
time,
is an
our
essence
aspirations
mod
were
now,
higher
and you
than
have
we
to
could
kill him for a
achieve.
passive point.
We planned more gems than we could make. So, in 324, we're adding another set of transfigured gems that
We'll see,
we've
we'll
now
see.
finished. Ice Shot, Incinerate,
Oh,
Artillery
Incinerate,
Ballista,
it's one of my favorite skills.
Tornado, Elemental Hit, Kinetic Blast, Poisonous Concoction, and lastly, Summon Holy
Hey,
Dark.
easy.
Yeah. So that's not that many
Hopefully
skills.
those of you
Yeah.
who missed your
Nah,
favorite
'cause they
skill
missed,
having
like,
a transfigured
60.
variant will get that
They
now.
didn't. They still don't
We
have
will
transfigured
certainly be
versions.
adding more of these in the future.
Okay,
especially
they're adding a
for
little bit at a
skills that are
time. That's
missing
cool.
them still.
Yeah.
Of course,
Cool,
we'll
like,
also be
can't
doing a
balance work.
balance pass on
Easy
the
peasy.
existing transfigured gems. One of the main ones we're looking at is Kinetic Bolt of Fragmentation. As a
Yeah.
result of this change, it is clear that the endgame potential of the Wander archetype really starts to suffer, mostly in the single target damage department. Due to this, we've added the new support gem, Sacred Wisps. This support gem causes supported skills to create 2 attached wisps for a duration. With these wisps, whenever you attack, they have a chance to also use the same skill, if
Oh,
you
wow.
have enemies in your presence. And if there are any rare or unique enemies,
It's a
they
real,
will
like,
always use the skill.
Roguelike now, huh?
Added,
That leads
added
us into
spell
all the
echo
other
for
core
one
abilities
attack.
we're introducing in 324, and there's a shitload of them. Many of these have been revealed in teasers already, but here's a quick summary. We've added the automation and call to arms skill gems
Yes.
for being able to trigger instant skills
Really-
and
really
war
well
cries
received
without
changes.
having to bind them to left click.
Now talk about left
You
click.
can now hold
Yep.
down Control and left click to automatically apply certain currency orbs until they achieve the desired
What's
result,
chat saying?
or you run out. For example, you can hold down fusings until you reach maximum links. You will be able to control, shift, click currency into a trade window to
Yeah,
automatically
all the
move
ones we've
all
seen.
of that currency at once from your
Still
inventory.
been talked about from your stash though.
Detonate
Just kinda
Dead now
eh.
has clearer telegraphing effects.
I detonate dead, yeah. No more Queen
When
69.
harvest crafting, the item hover will always be visible, so you no longer have to mouse back and forth to see the results of your crafts. When you use a Val Orb on a map, the map no longer has a chance to become unidentified. Instead, it adds a new implicit. We've created a set of implicits that affect the areas in fun ways. Related to that, corrupted and mirrored items can now be identified.
Okay.
Breach hands now open upon approach, and no longer need to be clicked. Upgrades to Pantheon powers now apply to all characters in a league. You no longer need to grind divine vessels on each new character. With harvest crafting, you can now re-roll Uber Elder fragments. Fragments
A lot
dropped
of
by
nice
the
quality
Shaper
of life
cannot
changes.
be re-rolled into fragments dropped by the Elder, and vice versa. Regarding Betrayal, we're removing Ashling's crafting bench as a
I don't
reward.
like this change.
Instead, Veiled Orbs now perform that function. They remove a mod and replace it with a Veiled mod. These orbs now drop from Katarina and are no longer a world drop. Flasks
I
can
don't know
now
how I
be
feel about
corrupted
that.
by Val Orbs, giving random
That'd be
minus
really
10
hard to get
plus
Veiled
10
mods then.
quality. The capability to add extra quality to weapons, armors, and flasks has been removed from Betrayal. The Betrayal bench craft that converts an amulet to a talisman has been moved to Bestiary, and thus can be traded.
Weapons and
Maven
armors can't
invitations
have
no
plus
longer
30
drop.
quality then?
Instead, when you have completed witnessing all
Um,
bosses required to go to the Maven's arena,
Beastcraft you
you can just talk
if
to
you corrupt
Karak,
it.
and he'll
Or
open a
perfect-
Maven's
or
window with the
perfect
invitation
False,
yeah.
already in there,
Yeah.
ready to be rolled. Valdo's maps that granted invitations now give scarabs. No more having to waste Guardian kills to try get invitations to drop. Next
Ooh,
up,
supporter
we're
packs.
going to be talking about our new League
I think
supporter
there's more
packs.
stat tracking stuff.
Today,
so they added
we're
in the
launching
game
two
files.
new series of supporter packs, the Solar and Eldritch packs. Each tier contains the full pack's face value and points, alongside several exclusive microtransactions. These packs are only available for the duration of the Necropolis League, and will leave the store forever when it ends. As always, the microtransactions in these packs are purely cosmetic, and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way. The Solar series of supporter packs contains 6 exclusive microtransactions.
That's pretty sick. The helmet's really cool.
The Cosmos Weapon effect adorns your weapon with stars. Hitting enemies causes cosmic energy to spill out into the area around them. The Radiant Orb of Chance extra effect projects the outcome of items you've used an Orb of Chance on above your head. Remember to congratulate other exiles in town if you see them chance a powerful unique item. Shine boldly with the Solar Knight armor set. The power of the sun radiates from your body, getting more and more intense as you use skills and emitting solar flares as you run. With the
It's okay.
Supernova level up extra effect, the dead will be raised from the ground around you, before being obliterated and turned to ash by an epic supernova whenever you level up. This one is my personal
Ooh.
favorite.
What
The
is
Cosmic
this?
Turtle hideout lets you travel the infinite expanse
That
of
is
the cosmos atop the back of a colossal
That
turtle.
looks sick.
That is a pretty sick hideout.
Carry the weight of the sun
Yeah.
on your back with the Solar Guardian back attachment. Witness it grow larger and larger as the energy of slain enemies is funneled into it. When it reaches its maximum size, it goes supernova and turns into a black hole, forever drifting throughout Rayclast. The Eldritch Pack series also has 6 exclusive microtransactions. Are you wondering if we moved the stash in the latest patch? Don't be fooled, because with the Mimic Stash Pet, players can transform into an image of a stash when in a town or island and scare unsuspecting exiles.
That's pretty good.
This pet follows behind
That
you
is
with its
cool.
terrifying hand-walking the rest of the
That's
time.
fucking well done.
Yeah.
The Shaper's Slam finisher effect sends slain unique
that's
enemies
cool.
into
That's
a
cool.
Final abyss of unending darkness.
The Eldritch Hunger armor set contains a beast that demands you to feed it by embracing your bloodlust. Watch it grow in power the more you kill until it bursts from the shell of the helmet. Are you able to satiate its hunger? The seed within the Corrupted Growth map device expands its grasp on your hideout
cool. I like
the more
that.
maps you complete on your atlas. Equipping the Headhunter character effect causes skulls of slain rare enemies to whirl around you like trophies. They become enraged when you are near a rare enemy you are yet to kill, wishing for them to join your collection. Witness a reality where the struggle didn't exist, allowing the Eldritch Horrors to settle their own conflicts with the Eldritch Horror Apparition effect. Which of the Eater of Worlds or Searing Exarch do you think will win? These packs are now available for purchase on both PC and console, and will remain so during Path of Exile Necropolis.
They're gonna put the bloody turtle hide out
Meanwhile, the Shade
$190
and
thing.
Disciple packs leave the store forever at the launch of Necropolis League, so now's your last chance to purchase them. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. We're just about to start
Yeah,
the
probably the
Q&A
$9
with
pack, right?
ZBD.
The biggest pack to get to the total.
Afterwards, we'll post
Yeah.
Path of
Yeah.
Exile Necropolis' full patch notes. With release at the end of next week, our community team will be posting crucial information you'll need for Necropolis' release. Keep an eye on the news. On release weekend, we expect to launch the new Mystery Box and this season's Kerax Vault Pass.
Oh, yeah, Vault Pass and
Thank
Mystery
you for
Box.
joining us
Yeah.
today and checking out our latest developments. We're looking forward to doing some awesome Gravecrafts and conquering the new in-game bosses with you next week.
Well, what do you reckon
We'll
so
begin
far?
the Q&A shortly, so please get your
I
questions
really
ready.
like it. I like that there's new bosses, the T17 maps, finding like more harder content to like
Yep.
push builds for. Like there wasn't really, I didn't feel like a need to kind of push a build other than like Veldo maps, but
Yeah,
Veldo
yeah,
maps
yeah.
are kind of like cheesy in a way.
Yeah, like not actually part of the core game content. It's like something
Yeah.
like players would add for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be a pretty interesting league. It's gonna be insane because they've changed everything. They've removed sextants entirely, so you don't have to worry about scarabs now.
Yeah. That's not Chris Wilson.
Okay, Wilson.
Good morning, Exiles.
Alright, I'm stopping my
and
recording
welcome
here.